Welcome back to the garden. Glad to see you're here today. I'm continuing on with my study of numbers, and it's sort of my new improved study of numbers because I actually remembered I have some cards that I can show you that will maybe help. I always think if I see an image, I remember something better. So today we are going to begin to study the number 3 in astrology, sacred geometry, tarot, and numerology. And as I think you're getting a feeling, or at least I have a feeling that each of those disciplines has a different sort of take on it, but it's similar. So you can learn from one to the other on how to see the symbols. And I'm hoping to help you do that today. So we're going to start with astrology first. And as I told you, if you think about astrology, it's like a big pizza pie with 12 slices. And each of those slices, without anything else in it, is called a house. So we're looking at the third house. And in the third house, the meaning in that in astrology comes to, I think. And this is the third house. And you learn from the things that are local to you in this part of your chart. The planets that end up there when you have your chart drawn up, that's the energy that's there. And it's also family, your close family. But the third house is really about communications. It's about learning and about how to communicate. The astrologic sign that rules over the third house is Gemini. It's typically the one that's in the third house in the chart. If you're doing a whole house chart with no ascendant, this is what you get. And you see the little stars up in the corner, those are the Gemini. And the Gemini communicate, they're mischievous, lively, witty, stimulating, and they like to exchange things if possible. The Geminis are there's two of them because they're twins, and I have a child that's Gemini, and I always sort of wonder which side's coming through the door today. And it's not that they have a crazy personality problem, it's just they're very flexible and they do have two sides to their personality. The planet that rules the third house is Mercury. And Mercury, if you know your myths, Mercury was the god that communicated. He had the little winged feet. Hermes is what he was called in Greek mythology. And he went around and communicated and got information around to the gods. And it's how you think, communicate, talk, or travel. That's sort of the third house influences on your life. And so it's communication, it's travel, it's all that sort of moving things around, it's intellect. So the first house is I am, the second house is I have, and the third house is I think. Okay, so now we're going to go into sacred geometry, and I don't have any funky, wonderful cards to show you for sacred geometry. For sacred geometry, think of a three-sided thing. It's a triangle. It's like that, And energy moves around a triangle very easily. It's also the most stable geometric form that we have. And it's used to mark things that are stable forms. It's what it does is it brings two elements together, and then the third one stabilizes it. So it's a communication stability, bringing ideas into a stable point, but letting them work together. So the energy, like I said, it flows around a triangle very easily. So when you're in a third, if you're in a third personal year, or if you are a 3 life path, your life is going to be full of communications, full of learning, full of understanding things and bringing them to other people. They also, all the odd numbers, 1 is the beginning, then 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, all the odd numbers are numbers that imply movement. 2, 4, 6, and 8 in numerology, or even in sacred geometry, are where things harmonize and settle. So a 3 in sacred geometry means change. It actually can in business. When I was studying business, which I actually have a master's in that field, when we would study things in finance, they put what they call a delta into the equation, and it's a triangle, and that triangle means This is the change. This is the thing we're bringing in that's going to change it. And so it's a pretty well-known kind of the concept of change, movement, things moving forward, but stabilizing each other. That's a 3 in geometry, in sacred geometry. In Tarot, the major arcana that has the number 3 is the Empress. And the Empress is sometimes, not in this particular one, but sometimes she's pictured as a woman who's pregnant with child. It means fertility, abundance. It's the 3rd step in the development of your personality. It's the Magician is your movement and energy. The High Priestess is your sense of consciousness. The Empress is the archetype of your matriarchal self and the matriarch that you had around you when you were young. She means abundance. She means bringing a lot of good things in. She means she's fulfilling the parts of your personality to teach you how to live. Now, we're going to go into the 3s in the minor arcana, and I'm going to save swords for last because I think it's the most difficult to understand when you're looking at 3s. But the first one we're going to look at is the 3 of rods or the 3 of wands, and it's always this guy, this dude looking out into the future. But he's bringing together. Remember the 2 of wands? It's a guy standing there with a globe. He's got a great idea, but he's just there all by himself. This guy, he can see if the ship's coming in, he's either sending them away or they're coming back in, but he's actively engaged in travel and commerce. And wands denote change, growth, and business. So, and that's what he's about. The 3 of pentacles is little dudes building things. It looks like an old-fashioned cathedral window, but he's working together cooperatively with people. Now, I know a lot of people when they read a lot of politics, they see this as somebody who's working with dark money and bringing dark money into issues. I don't see it that way. The other thing I can see this card as, I have a deck where he's standing on a desk and he's got other people around him, but it looks like he's in an educational situation. And when that card shows up and someone's reading for me, a lot of times it will mean they're being offered classes or offered a chance to learn something new, to build, work, and communicate with other people. 3 of Cups is just kind of fun. It's 3 people partying, and they're standing around sharing whatever's in that cups, and they look like they're having a good time. And that's what the 3 of Cups. It's once again, this is people communicating, people cooperating, energy flowing freely. Then you get to the 3 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords is that infamous little drawing where it's kind of stabbed through the heart. And I've read a lot of different descriptions, and it's a time to reevaluate. Obviously, if you've got 3 swords through your heart, you're going to be really thinking about it. I've also heard people say, well, a broken heart has more room to heal and to hold more. Don't know if I'm exactly in love with that interpretation, but I do love this interpretation of the 3 of Swords. And what it says is this young girl takes the 3 swords stabbed through her heart, and she puts them together like a triangle and learns to listen to the music that's brought to her to help her understand what all that was about. And in the inner child card in the book, they actually say, if you can learn to listen to the symphony in your heart, even when it hurts, you can understand the mystery of your soul. And so that's kind of a nicer interpretation of the 3 of Swords. Some people actually said, does that mean I'm going to have a heart attack or something? I don't normally read and see that happening to people, but it's a chance to reevaluate how your heart energy flows is really what I think it's about. And how is your heart communicating? Because swords, remember, they're not just pain and slash, they also mean communication and words and how things flow. Now, in numerology, 3, like I said, it's the strongest geometric shape. Its energy flows easily in a 3, so it's easy to communicate, easy to get things going, to create. Sees life from all different perspectives. They're free-flowing, they're open, they're energetic. I guarantee you if someone's got a 3 life path, they're a talker, because that's what my life path is. The stone, the crystal that's associated with 3 life path is Amazonite. That's a real pretty sample of what it looks like. It's this lovely light blue, and it has really, you can just feel energy flowing through Amazonites. And Amazonites are known as a courage stone. So it gives you the courage to say what you need to say and have the convictions you need to have. So that's been up a tree with the number 3. And I think number 3s like to see things from all different perspectives. So they're very likely to be the number that will make you go sit up in a tree and see the world from there, see the world differently, and communicate it to you, what they've seen, if they can't get you up that tree. I hope that gives you a little clarity on the number 3. Remember, I'm doing this until I get to at least the number 9, and then I'm going to do a quick overview of the other numbers, the special numbers beyond that. The only thing I didn't put on here is your angel number 3, and we're going to see what it says the angel number for 3 is. And I thought I had my act together, guys, but we're doing the best we can. Okay, number 3, the ascended masters are helping you. Usually this means an ascended master that you feel close to, or the belief system you were raised in draws you to, like Kuan Yin, a saint, Jesus, or other spiritual or religious figures. So when you see a lot of number 3s, it means you're being called to your inner heart, your inner soul, and that's who's trying to communicate with you. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and take care and consider your numbers. Bye.